everybody seems to be interested in the real estate story. So, okay, we shall first start on real estate story. So I go to Fashion Street. Anybody's gone to Fashion Street? You do? Or at least you have seen it when you pass by your car. And you go to Christian Dior or Canali and whatnot. So what makes that exclusive? What makes that difference? Mr. Adani, who has also taken 400 acres next to me, and I have Godrej's, and I have all the other good people, they all came after me. So it's the idea. Sorry, I'm showing off. Maybe at 75, all that is. Be something at the end of life, and at the top of whatever you are doing, have some, of course, enjoy. Have that masti also. I'm not asking you to be super saints. But when you're doing work, fully focus on it. Do it very well. When you're doing masti, you do full masti. फिर आधा भी नहीं करने का, पूरा करने का. Don't tell your parents I said that. I won't tell my children also, I guess. Everybody seems to be interested in the real estate story. So, okay, we shall first start on real estate story because everybody seems to be interested in the real estate story. So I come from a medical family. I'm a black sheep of my family because I did not take medicine. My father was terribly disappointed and I took up something which I did not. I loved my father tremendously. I was very close to him, so I was always wanting to make him happy and say whatever it is. But he was an iconic doctor. He was a Padma Bhushan. He was a Dhanvantri Award winner, one of the topmost doctors, not only in Mumbai, in Maharashtra, but in the entire world. He wrote books on cancer surgery, created new operations. So he was a very prestigious guy. So I was very, very close to him. So when I took up something different, my elder brother was also a doctor and they worked too hard. So I thought, itna kaam kaun karega? Let me take an easy way. And at that time, I found commerce was an easier route. So I took up commerce. Anyway, but in order to show people that no, I can do well, I stood second in the University of Mumbai to pass BCom. It was simply because I wanted to show my father that, look, I can do something. So even in commerce, I can really make it in spite of the fact that nobody in the family was into the business. Then, of course, I joined business and once we started and then we grew and we thought of all new thoughts and ideas. Two things always occurred to me. One, why is it that buildings are so bad? Always worried me. Fortunately, my dad stayed in South Mumbai. I came to Campion School, came to study Sydenham College, good school, good college, stayed in a home at Nepinsi Road at that point of time. It was a rented premises, but we were in South Mumbai, so, better as compared to the rest of Mumbai, even in those days. So that was a difference that took place. So when I got into the B of business, I thought that what is it that makes you have izzat, prestige? What makes you feel that you are somebody? There's a person called Mr. Ratan Tata who died last year. And what did the papers say when he died? Did they talk about how much money Mr. Tata had? No. They talked about his ethical values, his integrity, his honesty, his commitment to do good work, all the positive things about what a human being is. It didn't matter that he was worth 7,000 crores or 70,000 crores. Nobody wrote, not even the newspapers, which normally the newspapers are busy with the rich people to talk about what is their wealth, what is their listing position, how much are you worth in terms of money, which was there. So what made a difference between what you are when you achieve at the end of life, and what is it that really made it important? And then I thought of all these things, not now, he died last year, But even earlier, my father was not so wealthy as compared to many of his patients. His patients were Birlas, Tatas, Mahindras, Mafatlals, and all those people, the rich and famous in those days, and even the politicians. But he didn't have that kind of money or that kind of big cars. But he had a lot of importance and izzat. And I always used to wonder, what is it that makes a difference between a person who is monetarily successful only and the fact that you actually are successful? And what is actual successful? I die with a lot of money, but people say, अरे वो तो साला black marketer है, वो smuggler था, वो रिश्वत लेने वाला आदमी है, and whatever it is. But he had a lot of money. Okay, so that's one category of people. And the other person who doesn't have that kind of money, I'm not saying we shouldn't do for money, I work for money, so not question you don't work for money, but money can't be the end of it. So that is one thing you and I must learn in life. That while you do anchor for wealth and income and all, and at your age, I only thought of that, but at the end of life, remember, the most important thing will also be the fact that you learn that part of it. So in real estate, what did I really want to do? How do you get that izzat? How do you get that reputation? And it doesn't matter what you're doing. Whether you're making clothes, whether you're making jewelry, whether you're making cars, whether you're making anything that you have, what is it that makes it work? Maruti works, the BMW works. You may have a luxury element in it. You may have something which is add-on in terms of the Maruti car. Plus, you may have a luxury element where the minimum is much more. But both work, both move, both reach your destination, both work out in the whole things and all. So the first thing you have to understand that the base quality has to be the same, whether it is luxury or it is not. So even if you take an ordinary element of whatever you need to do, it has to work. So what makes the difference? And I'm also now getting a little bit into the luxury element of what you talked about. So I go to Fashion Street. Anybody's gone to Fashion Street? Yes. You do? Or at least you have seen it when you pass by your car. I'm sure most of you have not gone there. I have. And I have picked up clothes there also in those days. And I enjoyed doing that because it was very easy, and those days 10 rupee shirts. I don't know what they cost now. There. So you would get something there. Okay, a base shirt which works over there. And you go to Christian Dior or Canali and whatnot, and you have a different shirt. So what makes that exclusive? What makes that difference in terms of it? So the first and basic thing is base quality. The base quality, whether it is here or it is here, the base quality remains the same. Then you go into something where you look at the qualitative input of what you're putting in. That qualitative input could be better quality, it could be better finish, or it could be a different type of product which makes it feel exclusive. So what is that part of it which really makes it work? That is what I thought in real estate. So when I went to Powai was considered very, very far. Today it's very near. But in that it was like outside the city. When we started development over there, it was very far away. And people thought, oh my God, what are you going to do? But there was a thought in mind. I lived in South Mumbai, Nepinsi Road, and I said the building in which I stay, which was rented at that time, then we bought buildings ourselves, and at that time it was a good quality building. And I said the minimum quality of that building should be at least the building I have lived in South Mumbai at that place. No other builder was willing because the prices in that area were not so high comparatively. So people used to make not so good buildings. over there. Or they would compromise on quality and then do it. And that differential definitely made a difference because I benchmarked my quality to that. Later on in life, we built a school. And I come from Campion School, South Mumbai. And I took a decision that the school building that I make there should be qualitatively at least as good as the school I was in South Mumbai. Now, South Mumbai was considered exclusive, expensive, and top of the line. And I said, no, even though I'm at Powai, I'm going to benchmark my qualitative input of what I have over here, which is the best of quality at that time. So what suddenly happened, all of a sudden, from an ordinary place, just because I benchmark with the best in class at that time in my thing, the real estate value in Powai suddenly came up. Of course, there were 40 other things that I did. For example, we hooked up an architectural slide, which was exclusive, and we thought of it in a different sort of way that we needed to do. And that is a matter of detail of what we worked on. I used to go to Hanging Gardens for a walk. My project is called Hiranandani Gardens. And I decided that we will make environmental sustainability in Powai. And we made 25% of the whole project area of 250 acres into beautiful gardens. Each garden being better than any of the gardens in South Mumbai. So that was my target. My target was, usse acha hona chahiye. My father worked in South Mumbai. At that time, the best hospitals were Just Lok, Breach Candy, and Bombay Hospital. Those were 3 hospitals my father worked in. And I said, I'm making a hospital in Powai much later in life. That hospital has to be better than these 3 hospitals. So I studied these 3 hospitals. I visited 40 other hospitals all over the world, and then built Powai, the Hiranandani, Dr. L.H. Hiranandani Hospital in Powai. So what do we do in order to create special elements? First, your base has to be perfect. You cannot compromise on the base. So whether you're a Maruti car or a Mercedes or a BMW or anything, the base, whether you build a Maruti or whatever it is, has to be there. Then when you want to create there, you create exclusivity. So you create a product of a difference. So in our case, let's say we did architecturally, we took a difference, or we positioned it differently. And that makes an ordinary item into a luxury location. And we created it as a destination. So what else do? You make a difference in whatever you're doing. And how do you create that difference? You create a difference in various aspects. It can be a design difference. It can be a qualitative difference. It can be a user difference, or it can be an add value difference. So let's take an example of an add value difference. So if you see many of the projects in real estate, you find the swimming pool, you find the clubhouses, you find various other amenities which are there, jogging tracks, walking places, and stuff like that. And you make conveniences which are not available in others. So you are suddenly making a regular product into an exclusive product because you make that differential. इसके घर पर ये सब नहीं है, हमारे घर पर ये सब कुछ है. So you create an exclusivity, whether it's in terms of it. It could also be blended materials which makes a difference. The next important part of it is positioning. How do you position your product? So for instance, in real estate, what did we do? We took the positioning of saying sustainability. Now, 35 years ago, and none of you are 35 years old, I'm 75, at that point of time, we talked about sustainability, and nobody in the country was talking sustainability. Nobody means nobody. So we started with recycling of water. We recycle in Powai at Hiranandani Gardens 4 million liters of water every day since the last 30 years. So we did work on sustainability 35 years ago, and that created a different idea. Incidentally, the whole city of Mumbai till before COVID did not recycle 4 million liters. So we recycled more than the whole city of Mumbai just in one project of ours at Hiranandani Gardens, and we have another one at Hiranandani Estate in Thane, which also does more than 4 million liters, and individual buildings do much more, but we created a sustainability. So we created an exclusivity which other people would not do at that time. Now in many of the projects it's compulsory. The environmental clearances projects requires you to do it as mandate. But why were we exclusive? Because we did it when nobody was doing it. So if you're not doing it, he's not doing it, but she does it, then she becomes exclusivity. You can do simple exclusivity. How? I'm giving you this gift. I'm giving you this gift. Somebody else who gives this gift packed in a box of chocolates with a ribbon, with 2 flowers, and it is presented by a person who dresses up and gives it to you. Okay? That makes it exclusivity. The gift is same. It doesn't matter, I can just give it to her. That's the thing. But if I want to be exclusive, if you want to be luxury, I'll package it. That's the difference. There's no other difference. Okay? We are walking over here. I'm a very exclusive. You want to give me and make me feel exclusive. What do? I put a red carpet here. Your Vice Chancellor is coming. We want to maska lagao him. Put a red carpet over here. Call him over here. Make him feel good. So whatever you're doing, you're making a difference in the same product. He's going to come and make the same speech. He's coming to the same room, but he does it there. How do you make your, in your home, you have a small birthday. What do you do with the party? You just bring a cake, you do this, you do that. But if you do a little bit other things, for instance, I'll tell you what somebody did for me. Took out all my pictures of so many years, made it into a small movie, did all that because now it's easy to do, and showed it on the screen. And showed me, the various years and all my things of people and who had met me and my grandchildren and my children and others, and presented it to me. So it felt good. That's exclusivity. That's how you benchmark a product differently in terms of luxury and in terms of ordinary. It doesn't matter. It's a question of how you do it, not a question of where you do it. And then how you do it must come out genuinely from here. Because some people will package it and say, ye mera exclusive hai. No, you must make that person feel like that. How do they do exclusive things into a hotel? I go into a hotel and I say, I want to go to the washroom. Please tell me where's the washroom. So what would normally person do? He'll say, bahar jao, idhar jao, andar jao. Point out the door. Sir, this is the door. That's exclusivity. That's what is mandated. So when you're talking luxury, whether it's in an apartment, whether it's in a hotel, whether it's in a thing, the way you create luxury is the question of comfort, not only of the physical characteristics of the thing. We tend to think that I've got marble flooring and I've got some beautiful lighting. That is exclusive and luxury. Yes, but that's not the complete thing. It's what you make a person feel. You must feel exclusive. That is luxury. So when you're a first-class passenger, the luxury doesn't come only because you got a bigger chair or a bigger room. Yes, that's a physical part of it. But it's that extra thing you do. So if I go into a first class in a plane, when they want to show me luxury, They'll give me 7, 8 items of food, none of which you can eat. No way, nobody. I mean, I'll die earlier if I'm going to eat in that way or style. Nobody does. And especially those people in luxury understand that you can't do such things. But what do? You give that item and you provide the person there. While in the other economy passenger, you're a standard thing. You want this or this? Okay, you're vegetarian, then this. If you're non-vegetarian, you get this. Matter over. And here you create a difference where you create luxury. Real estate is same. So I'm just trying to combine the fact of real estate, which is your basic questions, into the fact that what is the luxury element to it. So success and failure is about how you kind of differentiate two aspects. One, understanding of the markets. First, foremost, you have to understand what's the demand of the market and where is the demand coming from. So like somebody mentioned Gift City. Somebody mentioned Gift City? You did? Okay. So we did the first SEZ building in Gift City, which was inaugurated by Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. And we built that too. We recognize that Gift City is going to grow. And we were the first. And we bought the place over there. And then we built it. Now, 30 buildings are under construction in the same place, but we were first. Same thing happened in Powai. When we started Powai, we recognized ahead of time that that place would grow. We were the only builder. Now there are only 21 builders around me, right from L&T to Godrej to all the other people who are there. And I started in Thane many years ago, 25 years ago. We were the first. In fact, there were only 2 of us, I think, at that time on Godbandar Road. Now we have only 42 big builders who are there on my left and right side of Godbandar Road. And we still exist and we're still doing well. So the idea basically being is that in the real estate, 2 aspects are important. One, being understanding what the location is. What's the future of the infrastructure of what is going to happen and how that future location is actually going to take off. So when I bought Powai, I was ahead of time. When I bought Thane, I was ahead of time. I've now taken 500 acres in Panvel, and I'm ahead of time. I'm one of the largest landowners, developers in that area. And of course, I have my richest person in India, Mr. Adani, who has also taken 400 acres next to me. And I have Godrej's, and I have all the other good people. They all came after me. So it's the idea. Sorry, I'm showing off. Maybe at 75, all that is. The point is not that. The point is, when somebody asked me about what you do is, you got to anticipate. You may not be 100% right or wrong, but you have to look forward. If you want to be exclusive, if you want to be special, you have to anticipate what is likely to come. Second, you have to find out what makes that person feel good. So what will happen if you go to a normal tailor who does your suit? He'll just do measurement, ye, wo, and whatnot. You go to somebody who's a little expensive tailor, who itna nakhra karta hai. Sir, do you think this should be 16.5 or 14.5? No, sir, I think this for 15 suits you better. Oh, but the common person, but it's a little thing. Do you mind if this thing thoda loose rakhe? It's very comfortable to sit, but it's fashionable to do 21. Oh, some natak. Chai lenge saath mein. You're measuring, you bloody finish your measurement. Chai piyenge, coffee piyenge, pani piyega, ye koega. He's charging me double or triple for the stitching. That's why he's doing all that natak. The question is not of the thing. It's a question of creating that difference in the mind of the person. That this is the difference which will make something exclusive and special. So you go to some stores. Sorry, sir, it's full. Only 4 people there. You made to wait outside the store because they want each person to be special. Or you'll have a side of the store where you will have the person who wants to buy exclusive thing, a special place that you will create. So what are you actually doing? You're doing two things. One, creating exclusivity. That's important. You make the person differentiated. Your first class passengers pehle aao andar. Why? Because you want them to feel कि पैसे ज़्यादा दिए, देखो इसको पहले लो, let them feel that little good. Food I already mentioned to you, little chair, leg room is better and all that stuff. We are all going to, whether in economy or in premier or in whatever, now 3 categories they have, and this thing, you're going to go from Mumbai to Dubai, Mumbai to Delhi, Mumbai to this. No, you don't. You're making that fellow feel special. That exclusivity, so you can charge him 3 times the amount for that little leg room and a little extra food over there. So this fellow is paying 12,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees, and that fellow is paying 75,000, 80,000. Certainly that little leg room, little chair space, and a little extra food is not going to cost so much. So that luxury element or that special element has that differential in the real estate product or any other product that you do. It doesn't matter what that it is there, but that is what makes that difference happen. So all these aspects of it, whether it is luxury in other spaces or in the real estate space, no difference. No difference. The basic principles in all these are the same. The bottom line is the same. Of course, in each of the elements, the physical addition is different because that makes a difference in terms of what is provided. They can afford it, of course. But there is now a growing element of people who have the money and have the possibility of being able to do that. So that's the issue. In real estate, it's about location. It's about policy, it's about finance, it's about marketability. If it's market segmentation, we work in the residential, we work in the commercial, we work on the retail side, we work on IT buildings. The differential in terms of real estate is growing. Today, the advantage is also the fact that the infrastructure is growing. So let's take the city of Mumbai, for instance, just to speak on real estate and infrastructure. We are going to add 300 kilometers of metro in the next 2 years in Mumbai city, which is the longest length in any one city in the next 2 years in the whole world. In the whole world, even more than China. For the next 2 years, the addition which we are doing. We built in the last 3 years the longest overseas bridge in Asia. The third longest in Asia. 2 are longer than this in China, over the sea. And we are putting up a new airport, and already we are planning a 3rd airport and in Mumbai city. And all this will make the real estate of Mumbai and the peripheral areas grow tremendously. So the future of real estate is excellent, and I hope that my company also will do well, like all other companies should. And we think that the future is there, which is going to be huge. That's part of the questions, direct and indirect, which you asked me, and I tried to put it into one story instead of specially taking up the story. Now we can do question, answers, interaction, whatever you feel like. No, the idea is basically that I do believe that we have to try and be fit. And if I want to do, because I have 2 worlds of mine. I have the world of business, which is my real estate and other businesses, which I mentioned before. And I also have I also have the other side of my life, which is not-for-profit activity. So in Mumbai, I run 14 colleges, including HR, KC, which you know about. And I run other colleges also. And I have 50,000 students in colleges. And I also run hospitals. Last year, I had the unique honor of Mr. Ratan Tata, who's no more, asking me to join Tata Parkinson Trust, as a co-trustee. So I joined with Mr. Tata to do something on Parkinson research, which we try to do. And we are working on that. I work on diabetes. I work on cancer as a focus area. We work on transplants. We do heart and lung transplants, liver transplants, and others in our hospital. We are now expanding into more hospitals. We have skill centers, skill development centers for the poorest of poor. All this is not-for-profit activity, which I do. So in order to do both sides, I have to be fit. Basically, the idea is to challenge yourself and do something which you've never done before. And I've never lectured to luxury class which deals on luxury retail ever before. So I blended luxury with real estate in order to make it speak. And this is the first time I've done it. So I've never spoken what I've spoken to you ever before, because I never thought that I would ever teach or speak to a class with students who does luxury. So I have to work on it and, think what would be suitable for this class. Hello, questions now. 5, 6, 7 questions quickly. Jaldi. High end is working. South Mumbai prices have gone beyond from 60,000 to 1,20,000 plus. And the luxury element of housing, which we talked about, is really growing very hard. The mid segment is also growing very fast. Incidentally, the real estate in India is the fastest growing area as compared. So overall, India real estate in the last 1 year has grown 15% all over India. GDP has grown 6.5% GDP growth of the country, but real estate grew 15%. Only segment which did not grow as fast, or in fact went down, was affordable housing segment. And I don't want to talk about it just now, but there are various reasons. But if you go on the internet, you'll hear me speaking why affordable housing is not there. All you got to do is Google me and you'll be able to get that. But there's a reasons for it. But overall, my anticipation, which I have talked on TV and internet and other meetings, including podcast, is that in the next year, also in the next 3 years, we'll have a 10 to 15% further growth in terms of real estate. So if I make, suppose there is already this is whole township, and we are making just one building. So there's two costs. One cost is the building cost and the infrastructure cost. So it'll be A plus B, that's it. So you work out what is the infrastructure cost, you add on to whatever is the building cost or proportionate share of the total development cost of that township added on to the building cost. So it'll be A plus B. How did I sell my first apartment? Well, fortunately, it got sold. I didn't know why, but I think we made, whenever you go to the market, the reason is very simple. You make a product which you believe will sell. You're not going to manufacture a product which you don't think will sell. You may be wrong in your assessment, so you may not get the price that you want. And the price is determined not only by what is your cost, but it's dependent on the market forces of demand and supply. So let's presume that I manufacture a very good product, but there is a recession in the market, and people don't have as much money. I may not get the price which I want, or I may even make a loss because I made a superior product the market can't afford. Fortunately, today that problem is not there. So we are able to get a price of what we expect to come. It may not be higher than what I expect, but it won't be too much lower than that. But price is dependent on demand and supply. It's not dependent on cost. So you believe that this is my cost, so I should make 10% profit, 20% profit, and I should be able to sell. That's your expectation. But it could be that you make no profit, you can make little profit, you can even make a loss, or you can make a great killing. But that is market dependent and your ability to sell. But today, the market is fully known to everybody. So if you think you're going to make a price which is too high, you may be able to get it by chance. But in reality, today, everybody knows everything. Due to the internet, through blogging, through various people, you know exactly what it is. All you got to do is search on the net. It's available on the RERA website, and you should also be able to do that. Well, when it was 20,000, they said that the prices won't go up. When it became 40,000, the price won't go up. When it becomes 60,000, they say the prices won't go up. I sold a building called Lake Castle in Powai at the rate of 850 rupees a foot, 87 to 91. Today it's worth 42,000 rupees a foot. So in every line that you have, let's talk about jewelry. There's congestion in the jewelry market. How many jewelers are there in Bombay? Too many. Maybe 20,000, 30,000. Okay? But how many good jewelers do you know of? Give me two names.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Why? There are 20,000 jewelers. So the perception is there are only 2 or 3 good jewelers in your mind. First cut. You may check up and find 20. But in reality, what has happened? Those 2 or 3 people have told the market or shown to the market or created a perception that they are the topmost. So that is it. There's nothing great about it. So I have to create that image of exclusivity. It's nothing to do. It could be clothes. It can be jewelry. It can be luxury. It can be a hotel. It can be a restaurant. It can be shoes. So when you stand up and say, I am in jewelry business, and you say, I am Tribhuvan Das Bhimji Javeri. What do you think? Wow, a great guy. Okay? When you say Manish Malhotra in dress design, wow, what an exclusive. That's it. That is the thing. Several months of thoughting and all. We created one concept, I didn't like it. I created a second concept, I was not happy. I created a third concept. Usne bhi banaya. I was not happy because it would be just one more township. And I made so many, I've made 4 of them already. We fifth one banaya ki zarurat kya hai at 75, what the hell should I get excited about something else? You need a new, kuch to masti chahiye na, ya, nahi to at 75, why should I work? Ya? I have enough money to retire. Okay, so problem is there kuch to hona chahiye masti, you know. Don't you all believe in a little masti sometimes? Yeah, हाँ? कुछ तो होना चाहिए चमक life में. नहीं तो साले घिसी पिट्टी रोज काम करना and all that, sit in the office and do the same thing again. कुछ तो होना चाहिए. The point is very simple. Choices are so much now that you can branch into any activity and there is a future and opportunity there. Be focused. Have that fire in the belly to create something better. Don't make a chalta hai product. Whatever you do it well. एक मस्ती में करो कि अच्छा काम करना है. It takes a little more effort. But the satisfaction that you get, no, in the long run is immense. And all of us have an aspiration to achieve. But all of us don't have that patience, that grit, that willingness to put in that extra bit in order to make it extraordinary. Moving from ordinary to extraordinary is not difficult. I'm going to share one last secret with you. I'm going to teach you a learning which will make every one of you super success. Want to hear the secret?
Yes.
I want you to promise that you will try it at least. Because I want each one of you to be a super success one day. My secret is 1% improvement every day. There is nobody in the world, who may be a dunce or may be a brilliant guy who can't improve 1% every day. Every super success in the world has done only one thing. He has improved 1% every day. And this is a secret nobody shares. And I'm sharing it with you. All people who work towards making 1% every day. I'm making a speech today. Tomorrow I'll make a speech to students' lobby. I just want to improve myself 1%. Can I do that 1% improvement in my speech? Yes. You're studying a subject. You know the subject X. Tomorrow, just make your little effort that you know 1% more in that tomorrow. Can you not do it?
Yes.
Very easy to do it. But nobody does it. Nobody does it. Easy. Just 1% more. In a year, how much percentage will you improve? In 10 years, how much will you improve?
3,000.
No. It's compound. 1% every day of the previous day. It comes to more than 10,000. Every Superman in this country and in the world has done that secret. They only improve themselves 1% every day. Every top dancer, every top actor, including Amitabh Bachchan, he still improves himself 1% every day. And that is why he is Amitabh Bachchan. All the rest of the people have already reached here. They think there's a glass ceiling. I cannot improve. If I don't want to improve myself in my next project, 1%, somebody else will improve better than me because they have all seen my previous build projects and they will improve on that. You've seen my project. He just described a part of my project. All of you can go and see my project. You can even steal my architect. You can seduce my engineers to join you. You can have all those people. So all those things happen. So why not you make it? But if I'm improving myself 1% every day, at the end of the year, no fellow will compete with me because I've already improved 365% at the end of this year. So after 40 years, how much have I improved? Do your calculation one day. That is my secret, and that is the secret of every successful person. If you use the secret, and if you're ordinary, you will become, in a couple of years, extraordinary. Do that in everything that you do. And it's so easy to do it because you're improving yourself only 1% every day. Do something good for yourself, if not for others. Forget others. तुम्हारा खुद के लिए तो improve करो. Stand tall. Look beautiful, attractive. Be nice and good to people. Look after your parents. Do all that very nicely. That is the secret of life. Be something at the end of life, and at the top of whatever you are doing, have some, of course, enjoy. Have that masti also. I'm not asking you to be super saints. But when you're doing work, fully focus on it. Do it very well. When you're doing masti, you do full masti. फिर आधा भी नहीं करने का, पूरा करने का. Don't tell your parents I said that. I won't tell my children also, I guess. So, lovely meeting all of you. Thank you very much.